gone.
From the highest mountain to the bottom of the ocean, yeah. Our song is running like a river. Let the current take us there. We've got the melody to set us free, singing destiny. We've got the melody to set us free, singing destiny.
Hold on. Sharing on socials.
Our hearts are like stars.
Cool. Let's do this.
Guiding us through the dark.
Put the video on.
We've got the melody to set us free, singing destiny. We've got the melody.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to FPL Gameweek 3. Sorry, not Gameweek 3, Gameweek 7's podcast. We are going to be discussing probably wildcard options as well. And with me in, I would like to say studio, but very soon, maybe one day, I've got Rushant and Roy. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah, it's doing great after North London Derby win, so I'm pretty happy, pumped, still
Yeah.
pumped.
Roy has his FPL shirt on ready. I mean, his Arsenal shirt
First
on.
time Roy can
Uh,
proudly, show his shirt and won't get mocked by any of us this week. So yeah, good on you, Roy. We'll take it easy today. It'll be a good one for you.
We're going to catch you guys, mate.
what is it? 5 points behind or something like that?
Only
Yeah, 5
4
points behind. Oh, okay.
5 points.
Anyways,
5 points.
Roy has come in a perfect time in terms of us wanting to check with like Arsenal players as well ahead of the wildcard. So we'll discuss that as well.
Yep.
So in terms of discussing what's going on, we'll look at the managers' teams. We'll look at season ticker, team defenses, and then we'll look at deadly defenders, team attack, midfield players, forward players. We'll probably do a wildcard team, and I'm thinking panel team probably needs a wildcard. We've also lost 0.5 or 0.6 in value on that. So it's clearly we haven't been doing well on that team. And then we'll look at price changes. Trent is someone to talk about. His price is about to fall. Jota also on a price fall at the moment. And we'll, combined managers panel team, that will probably be part of the wildcard as well. So kicking things off, let's start up with the team's highest. So Rushant, he got the highest points for this week. For the sake of the podcast, he's got Sanchez, Trent, Duffy, Marcel, Gray, Salah, Jota, Sa, Antonio, Jimenez, Ronaldo, Rafinha on the bench, Marcus Alonso as well, ready for next game week, and Livramento. And also, what a genius move by Rushant on Antonio captaincy.
Yeah, not sure if it's genius or just sheer luck, I guess. I think in the sense that I actually had Ronaldo for a long time throughout the game week. But for some reason, I think on the morning of Saturday, I just decided to change to Antonio because I had a feeling like, I know Ronaldo, I figured he's going to have a good game, but I mean, I thought he'll still score, but I figured it's going to be a hard game for them. Like Villa's defense is really good. I was still like half. I wasn't very convinced with West Ham's performance the last couple of weeks and Antonio's red card and all that stuff. But yeah, just decided to go with Antonio at the end. Just thought because of Leeds' injury problems, and also with Bamford out, I just thought they're gonna be a bit of a shambles with Dallas moving up front, which he did, and they got Cresswell, this new Cresswell guy playing. But yeah, so it paid off. Last late minute goal of Antonio, which really helped. But yeah, still sad that Ronaldo didn't give any returns though. So it's the the other side of the show. Okay, yeah, he didn't score FPL wise, but just not very happy regular. But Jimenez finally delivered. That was very good. Been very patient with him last few weeks. Was going to drop him this week if he didn't do anything, but since he scored, I'll give him another week or two. And yeah, midfield, I mean, Rafinha was injured, so I really didn't figure that he was going to play. But regardless, I mean, everyone in the midfield kind of delivered. So I'm not too upset about having Rafinha on my bench because the only way I'm going to benefit there is really by dropping Ronaldo. So, I mean, yeah, generally speaking, okay week, I guess.
You went from about 400k to currently 184, which is an insane rank boost. So not too bad. Second place, Roy, 61 points just behind. Didn't make a transfers, which means he's got 2 free transfers for the upcoming game week. You've had Ramsdale, Trent, Massa, Livramento, Gray, Salah captain, Gallagher, Jota, Sen Max, Lukaku, and Antonio. And obviously Traore, Tierney, and Reece James also on that bench. Go ahead, Roy.
I mean, this is my second week after wildcard, so everyone's healthy. I feel like I did pretty well in terms of the selection and the score. 61, I'm pretty happy. If Arsenal won 3-0, it would be a different story. Ramsdale would have got, 9 points. I mean, Trent Alexander.
Yeah, the last goal.
I mean, TAA is injured. No, he's not injured, right? He actually played the game. He got injured,
but now he's injured.
Now he's injured, right? So he only got 1 point after Liverpool scored 3 goals, which is pretty disappointing. I mean, other than that, Salah's safe bet. Captain, 14 points, as expected. Lukaku, I'm quite surprised they only scored 2 points for me. I was banking on him to score big. Obviously, it's a difficult game. I mean, Saint Maximin is pretty good. I mean, I had him for 3 weeks now, so he's scored every week. I think
he should have had more returns from that game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio is Antonio.
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy, and I've already made my changes. I think I got rid of James. I brought in Rudiger, and also got rid of Jota, and brought in Smith Rowe. I'm planning to get to Ronaldo in 3 or 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, when they go on that run, really good run. Yeah, that's in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, or not couple, about 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah. We'll see.
His price has gone up.
His price, he's now what 12.7, so it's gone up by 0.2. Not too bad. I don't think it's going to go up now. It's probably going to fall down, if anything.
Depending on his performance in the next weeks, though.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. People are transferring out, but Ronaldo, we can't ever discount him. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm also hoping that I can weather the storm without Lukaku at least for the next couple of game weeks. We'll see. But the game week, I think when they play Norwich, Chelsea play Norwich, that's going to be a huge one. So my team, 51, pretty bad. I managed to Everton and Doucouré coming in clutch there after I bought him in last week. This week he was like, yes, I'm going to get you some goals, and he got me a goal. Salah, so I had Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, Semedo, Salah, Jota, Greenwood, Benrahma, Doucouré, Antonio, and Ronaldo captain, which failed, and Livramento and Alien on the bench as well. Unlike your guys, who you basically had almost the entire midfield and attack scoring, I had a mixed bunch. Especially with the defense, it was like a disaster. So yeah, not too much to say, but I came up with a green arrow, which is very shocking, especially after my opening day captaincy blank. I was like, oh my god, disaster. But green arrow and sitting at 187,000, so not too bad. And I think the margins are very small at the moment in terms of top 100k and all of that. I was looking at the rank differences, and like the difference between first and mine is about, I think, 81 points, I think. So it's not too bad. But anyways, that is...
Not bad. Really good.
Yeah. So anyone who's like low on rank, don't worry too much. The early start is very like small margins. So you could very well go 300,000, 400,000. Like Rushant has shown, you can go from 400k to top 200k immediately.
I think last year I was around $1 million, more than $1 million around December time. Ended up at 39k, so anything is possible.
Yeah, exactly. Anything is possible. That's why. Alright, so now if you're still watching this video, hit the like button, and if you're new, do hit that subscribe button as well. We're trying to get to 75 subscribers. We've been on 61 for a little while, So hit that like button and subscribe button and get involved in the chat or in the comments as well. Let's look at the season ticker now, because this week and maybe next week also we're going to be discussing about wildcards. I've kind of added more game weeks in here in the season ticker, because we'll probably want to look at a team that's going to be lasting for quite a while. And right on top is Chelsea. And I think we're going to have discussions with regards to double Chelsea defense. And then do you go for Lukaku or not? And all of those discussions. Leeds just behind that. But in Leeds, I'm thinking just Rafinha, I guess, at the moment, who stands out. Then Norwich, Wolves, Tottenham. Right at the bottom is United. So United, anyone who's triple up with United players, might want to look into getting rid very soon. Maybe you can keep for this game week and maybe game week 8. But after that, it gets really hard. Watford, Everton. Watford, there are people with Sa. Anyone who has Sa, maybe Leeds might be the last game week to try. West Ham, Everton, Liverpool, City at the bottom. So, any teams here that stand out for you guys?
Yeah, I'm surprised Arsenal is below the middle. Arsenal's quite good
Arsenal is in the
fixtures, to be
middle.
fair.
I think it's based off their form as well, because their form in the last 4 game weeks hasn't. So this is looking at, I think, oh no, it's not season tickets, not last. The recent form hasn't been great.
Fixtures, like easy fixtures, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's because they're considering Leicester and Brighton a bit more harder. That's why it's like grayed out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Liverpool, United, extremely harder. The easier ones are Crystal Palace, Watford, Newcastle, and then Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So that's why. Although I would say that looking at Arsenal's recent performances, I would probably consider them a bit more higher
Yeah.
in this ticker. Probably a bit more higher than even Leicester, because I don't think Leicester have been performing that well. But yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that stands out here is actually Wolves is, I know that it's been too high up, but I mean, I was watching the game last week. I mean, they're not a force to be reckoned with. They're kind of scraping by, you know. The typical Wolves get the 1-0 goal and sort of.
I agree. Southampton should have won the game.
Yeah, it wasn't a convincing game. You're right. Yeah, Southampton was on top most of the time. Jimenez just had one really good finish, which kind of saved them. But yeah, the defense was nothing special. Attack, they dropped Traore, which was very interesting and very heartbreaking for a lot of managers, obviously.
I still got him on my bench.
But I just think that, you know, Wolves, obviously they started off with Traore and Trincao up front and it wasn't working. So I think it was time that they tried something with Podence back and Huang as the other winger as well. But yeah, I mean, Wolves, I am very, very skeptical about the Wolves attack, especially after, you know, last couple of weeks, just having them in my team as well. I mean, yes, looks good season ticker wise. Yes, looks good based on last few years Wolves. But this isn't Wolves. I mean, yeah, not convincing yet. Yeah.
But Jose Sado, assist and saves.
Yeah. I was a freak. I knew he was going to get a lot because I was watching him. He was stopping everything. Like he pretty much was everything. And then on top that off, he gets an assist as well. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for goalkeepers, it's him, Ramsdale, and still Sanchez, I would say.
And Ramsdale's kind of climbing up that ranks now.
Yeah, that's why. Because if you look at Arsenal's fixtures, the only fixtures I think that are going to be hard for them are Liverpool and United. In these from game week 7 to 14.
Yeah, that's
at
what I'm
least.
saying. Arsenal should be top 6 in this.
I think the
But
big
rank-
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that. See, Brighton is a top 4 team. Is it still a top 4 team?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace have been actually playing better than what people are looking on.
Crystal Palace are actually pretty solid in the defense, and we'll look at defense as well. You'll be able to see they have improved significantly in the last 4 games.
Aston Villa is, I mean, they kept a clean sheet against United. They're a tough team. Leicester is probably the only team which is a bit overrated here in terms of defense. And I think Watford and Newcastle, obviously. So yeah, I think Arsenal should be a bit higher than what it is.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how the season ticker works, whether it's like on form or whether it includes also last season's rankings as well into play. But yeah, something else that I think will give you better pictures is in terms of stats, the team defense. So I've sorted this by expected goals conceded, and right on top, City with the best defense. Not a single goal conceded, 4 clean sheets. So this is the last 4 game weeks, by the way. the stats for the last 4 game weeks. City, no goals conceded, 4 clean sheets. And I've highlighted City, Wolves, and Chelsea here because Chelsea are being spoken about in terms of double defense and all of that. I think something to keep in mind is that Chelsea's last 4 game weeks, they've had tough opposition. So it's kind of expected that their stats will be much more lower. But I think they'll improve because you've seen that even in that tough opposition, and even though they're ranked way below, they've only considered 2 goals compared to the rest. So as a unit, they're much more better. But yeah, where is Arsenal? So I guess that's why the season ticker is a bit low because of still they are considering a high number in terms of.
But look at Arsenal's 6 goals. That 5 goals were considered against Man City.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that'll improve next game week.
Yeah.
Like their number will go quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something we have to keep in mind. This is last 4 game weeks. I take last 4 game weeks because it gives you a decent picture. But some teams do improve in like the last 2 and all. Like Arsenal have improved significantly. Any team here that stands out defensively?
Brentford and Southampton. I know Brentford got a bit unlucky, but I mean, barring last week's 3 goals, and before they were pretty solid. And I think once their fixtures kind of get a bit better, there'll be a team people will be looking at as well because their backline is pretty solid, I would say, and they're a team that's proved themselves so far, like against the big teams, like they drew against Liverpool, they beat Arsenal, they beat. So I'll be very interested in seeing how they progress throughout the season in terms of defense.
That's another goalkeeper that I think we should add, Raya.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of saves as well. And he's a solid goalkeeper. For FPL perspective, if you want to get save points, he's like last season's Meslier, who will just continue to get you those save points. So could be a good option as well. Everton are second on this, but I would not consider them second because of the fact that they've faced easier opposition. So expect that to kind of go down. But look at the bottom teams. Tottenham, Newcastle, Norwich, Leeds. I think they're deservedly down there because they've just been utter garbage, if I say so.
Yeah, I mean, you spoke about Meslier last season and Meslier this season.
Yeah.
I mean, the Leeds backline, I don't know what happened. They've
Yeah, they're just injury ravaged and everything.
Yeah.
So that's the defenses. Let's look into the defenders. So I've highlighted a few, and you can kind of see Trent right on top of there, but now he's kind of injured, and we're not really sure how long he's going to be out for. Klopp has kind of stated that he's probably out for the City game, and then after that have to see whether he'll rest for the international break and everything. But something I was looking at, right? Liverpool's fixtures after the international break. So the next fixture is Watford. So people might think that he might play Watford. But then midweek, they have the Champions League and they're playing Atletico Madrid. And then the game after Atletico is against United. So I'm wondering whether will Trent actually play that Watford game? And for those like me who still have the wild card, is it worth keeping Trent just for the hope that he might actually play that Watford game?
Yeah.
If we're assuming that this upcoming game and the United game won't have clean sheets.
If I obviously I guess I'll go first in the sense that if I was to wildcard, I probably will look to get rid of Trent at the moment and bring him back at the point he's back. Because you're right, there's a lot of games in between. There's a lot of uncertainty about his injury as well. He's definitely not going to play this weekend against City, which is not the biggest of concerns for FPL. But you're right, in terms of international break, Champions League games, and also his injury in general, there is no rush to bring him back for that Watford game if he's still 50-50. And he might not even play in the sense that if he's still recovering from injury. So that last time Liverpool had the Champions League game, they benched their fullbacks. So you could see Simicas back again for another, and Milner and right back. So yeah, I guess the point is, if you do have a wildcard this week, me personally, I'd probably get rid of him for the time being and bring him back. If you are stuck with him, that's a different question. That's the question where, like people like me is like, do I look to get rid of him right now and bring him back? Or do I keep him on my bench? And if I was to keep him on my bench, he's a very expensive $7.6 million bench, maybe 7.5.
The question is, do you have players as well who can kind of like sub in for him and perform at least for the next 2 at least while he's not there.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, you could bring Cancelo.
Exactly. Cancelo or Ruben Diaz, even Marcus Alonso, who we've highlighted right on top of there, who seems to be kind of like the surgeon and keeping Chilwell out. And also, I guess Livramento I've highlighted because Southampton are going to also like go on a good set of fixtures after the Chelsea game.
Yep.
City also after the Liverpool game, I wouldn't like the next 3 are decent. And if you want to bring Trent back in, if you have the funds, you could transfer again. But there is talk about if you make a wildcard to get City defenders as well, because they've shown that regardless of the fixtures, they are pretty solid at the back.
Yep. I agree.
Any other defenders who kind of stand out of here? One thing to consider is the Arsenal fullback Tomiyasu. Looked really good when I was watching that North London derby. Roy?
Yeah, he's superb in the game. The last 3 games he plays, he's been superb. I just feel like it's quite funny when you watch Arsenal play now. Tierney hasn't really attacked as much. His majority is on the right hand side because Saka is on the right hand side, and Smith Rowe tend to stay on the left, then move to the middle, and Odegaard stay in the middle. So it's kind of shifting from left to right. So if someone wants to pick Tomiyasu, not a bad choice. But he hasn't assisted anything. He hasn't scored a goal yet.
Yeah.
So that final cross or final touch, can he do it?
Isn't there yet?
He's not there yet.
Yeah, because I guess that's why he's not on this list, because this is sorted by expected goal involvement, and he still hasn't hit those numbers in terms of chances to probably be in there.
Yeah.
How
much is he? How much is he, by the way?
5, right?
4.5, right? I believe.
Yeah.
4.5 is not bad, but considering Tierney is 4.9,
9, I think.
Tierney is 4.9, I believe. Ben White is 4.4.
But he's probably
Yeah.
pressure at some point.
Yeah.
Gabriel is
Not worth rostering in your fantasy team.
Yeah. The other question is, like, if you're going to get someone like Ramsdale, you probably don't get an Arsenal defender. It's one or the other, I would say.
True. Yeah, I was hoping Tierney can do a few assists, but he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think the thing with Arsenal is like they're very if you look at their midfielders as well, they're all pretty much attacking midfielders. Xhaka's gone for injury as well. He's out for the year. So I assume Partey will play that role a lot more now, Roy? Or
they might move Odegaard back in, put Pepe in. I think that's what we played again before that is Odegaard stayed back a little bit with
that'd
Partey.
be very, very attacking front 5, essentially.
But think about the next 3 games we have.
Yeah.
Well, we should attack.
Oh, I'm saying it's very juicy in terms of
yeah.
fantasy appeal. Probably not for defense, but attacking 100%. Who would you say is the preferred Arsenal option here? I mean, there's obviously Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka.
Yeah, Smith-Rowe is cheaper.
3, but Saka's probably still more of a goal threat than Emil Smith-Rowe, would you say?
Yeah, I think Smith-Rowe is more like he wants to get into the box. He does get into the box. He does drive or dribble with the ball. Then he passed the ball to someone else. He will go into the box.
Yeah, we'll see. So when I was making these slides, I saw Saka was on there. Smith-Rowe still not on there, but then Smith-Rowe hasn't also been fit per se for the last 4 game weeks to come into those stats, I would say. That's why he probably doesn't have enough. But yeah, we'll discuss that when we get into the midfield. Another thing is Matt Ritchie is still here. I don't know why he hasn't got anything. I think he takes a lot of corners as well, and a high number of chances created. It's just that Newcastle aren't finishing. I wouldn't be surprised if... Where's Newcastle's fixtures? It's a decent set the next 3. Wouldn't be surprised if Matt Ritchie does get some attack in return eventually. Because he's just after Trent, the high, and he's above Alonso. So, like, I don't know why he hasn't got anything, but
You're seeing Ben Mee there. That's
yes, exactly.
He's not a name you'd usually see when it comes to top deadly defenders.
Yeah.
Well, coming for the
he just has a high It's probably the headers. It's probably that when Burnley do the corners and everything, they're aiming for him. So I guess he's kind of like, because look at that, right? Expected goals is 1.02. Expected assist is 0.02. So it's the expected goals.
He's the only
It's
one with,
come close.
XGO1.
Yeah, that's what. Well, I guess he's got one goal out of everyone here. So
Yeah.
that's probably why.
Talking about
but-
headers, I mean, Duffy's not on the list. I mean, he's a really good choice. Duffy from Brighton.
Last 4 game weeks though. So I don't know if last 4 game weeks they haven't. But he's a good choice. For price value as well, I think Duffy's a decent choice.
He's massive. The corners,
Yeah.
he's massive.
Him and
Big guy.
Belton, well, they're both pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
Veltman is on this list,
yeah, he is.
interestingly. Although still nothing too
They
high
haven't updated-
per se,
he did
but
score a goal. Oh, sorry, no, he got an assist. Didn't he?
Assist, yeah.
he got an assist. He got an assist here, so that's there. And he's created one big chance, which isn't too bad. But yeah, so that's the defenders. If you were to get defenders on a wild card, who would you get?
Cancelo.
Okay.
Probably a Chelsea defender, depending on your price. 100% has to be either Alonso or Rudiger. You want to go cheaper? I think Christensen isn't a bad shout. I think he's a bit more nailed on compared to Thiago Silva. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you don't have the funds to afford Alonso, who's 5.9, and Rudiger, who's now 5.6, Christensen has played the last few games. He's starting the last few games, and we saw last game before James got injured. Thiago Silva was the one who came off the bench, not Christensen. So seems like he is the starter, but I mean, you never know. But
Yeah, fair enough. But then, yeah, with Reece James injured, because Aspilicueta can move to that right wing back, right? And then Christensen could play alongside Thiago and Rudiger.
I think that's the only thing. They have Chalabala, whatever he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right. I think at least until James is injured, Christensen could be a very, very good shout, and for a cheaper price as well.
Anyone else you go with?
I mean, it depends on the strategy. If you want to go for cheap defenders, then you want to get Ronaldo and Lukaku, then just go with the cheap ones like Duffy. He will play. He will score a couple of goals, and Brighton's defense is pretty good. I mean,
Would you encourage with? Oh, I guess it goes this right. But people are talking about like going big at the back? Would you encourage big at the back in terms of like doubling up on both Alonso and Rudiger and maybe Cancelo or Ruben Diaz?
No, I mean, I personally would not put 2 players from the same team in the same position. That's just my personal view. I just feel like that just kind of
Yeah, I mean, look,
you're
really hard.
gambling basically.
Yeah, but look. I mean, it's a fair point, and I think I'm probably more leaning towards Roy's point as well. Like, you know, the hedging sort of the risks in terms of defense. But City have proved us wrong. Last 2 game weeks, they kept 5 game weeks. Sorry, they kept clean.
Yeah.
And Cancelo and Diaz, with Stones not playing, I'm not sure what's happening with Stones. And Pep Roulette's not a thing this season so far. He's been very consistent with his teams, at least, and Diaz has always been nailed on. And Cancelo will play regardless of which position. He's a very versatile player. So you could. I'm not going to say no completely, in the sense that you should never do it. I think it's fine, but you doing that, you just got to know that yes, obviously one goal is going to really affect your clean sheet record. It's kind of like, are you willing to take that risk?
The other thing is also, what was it? Kevin De Bruyne is back, which means Ruben Diaz could be a beneficiary in terms of set pieces, which we saw last season as well. So something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I guess the question here is, who would you go? Would you go Cancelo or Diaz? That's the
thing.
People are going to have to make if they're looking for a City defender. Probably not this week, but the week after.
I think Diaz is more assured, always guaranteed to always start compared to, not always. We've seen him get rested last season as well. But over Cancelo and Diaz, probably Diaz, but then Cancelo, look at that, right? He's topping most of the stats. It's just that he hasn't got the returns, but he with Mendy also out, right? With Mendy also out, he can play both right back or left back.
Yep.
That's the kind of advantage of Cancelo.
I think over this course of the season, Cancelo probably give you more assists if he plays, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's really tough decision. I think I don't know the answer as well. I don't know who I'd bring in.
Yeah, I guess you can bring one, but if you bring one, just have a decent decent cover like Livramento or Duffy, just in case they don't start, so that they kind of like you have a decent centre back, cheap centre back, good team coming off the bench.
Yep.
Yep. Alright, so that's the defenders. Let's move on to attack. Liverpool right on top of there, City just below, which is going to make an interesting fixture upcoming for this game week to see as well. To see whether Liverpool can actually, the best attack can probably, let's see if they can break the best defense in the league. So we'll have to see what Salah and Co can do there. And some people like me have triple Liverpool and are wondering what to do here, but we'll see.
Me too.
Yeah. And then United just below, interestingly, even though the recent few games haven't been great, Cristiano Ronaldo is a huge part of that. Wolves, Crystal Palace, Brentford, just below that. Would it be a bit shocking to see that those three teams are right there? I mean, Wolves are okay because they are overperformers of XG, which you can kind of see by the delta difference. They're like 3.92 lower than what they should have like delivered.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting. That negative 3.92.
Yeah, they're way either overperforming or not delivering, basically.
All because Traore.
big all right. Not finish.
Yeah, and then Leicester, Jamie Vardy, and he's still scoring goals. I think there are only three players.
Yeah, no one's talking about him. He's just doing his thing every weekend, scoring on both ends of the field.
Yeah. I mean, and we're still going to ignore him. We don't want those points.
No, we don't want him. He scored 2 goals. No, let's not worry about him. Keep him on the bench, don't.
Yeah. But something that's improved, Arsenal getting on there. And we spoke about Saka, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang. Aubameyang is also another one. He's just be like Jamie Vardy. At that price point, no one really wants. But he'll just keep doing his thing.
Yeah, I mean, good thing about Aubameyang is he will play. If he's fit, he will play.
Yeah.
He will play 90 minutes. And he will get the penalties. He will take all the penalties. But he's not cheap. He's about 10 mil.
Something like that. Yeah, same price as like Jamie Vardy. That's the thing. They're in that price point that no one really wants to get at. Because if you're looking at that price point, people are like, spend another extra mil to get to Lukaku.
Right.
Or just go down to try and get Antonio. So that's the thing.
But if you do have the money, Aubameyang is a good pick. He will be there. He will play. He's the captain. So
yeah, true. Good point. And also, just like at the extreme bottom, this is why we are having these midfield issues, because Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Spurs, I mean, they are extreme. Like, we wouldn't have been thinking that we'll be here sitting here talking about Harry Kane and Spurs not being any viable FPL option at all.
And this is very predicting to the start. Didn't Spurs won their first 3 games?
Yeah, 3 out of 3. And then
last in team attack.
I think I actually talked about this, 2 weeks ago, about Tottenham.
Okay.
Their first 3 games were pretty lucky. I think we did talk about that. They were pretty lucky all 3 games. They really should be in the relegation zone.
They're heading there.
Coming from a very non-biased Arsenal supporter.
Yeah, non-biased.
He's not proudly represented by Arsenal Fan TV.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that they just won.
It has got nothing to do with the fact that they smashed them.
No, they're the team in crisis, right? It just seems like it's a team that the manager has lost his dressing room. I think that is the issue. If the players don't want to play for the manager anymore, it becomes a bit hard for them to motivate themselves, try to score a goal and try to defend, try to attack. I mean, Harry Kane just feel like, looks like he's trying, but he literally assists Arsenal's last goal. Did you watch that? Did you watch the Arsenal's 3rd goal? He lost the ball in our
The
half,
yeah,
and he sprint back to his own half, tackle Saka, but pass it to Saka anyway, and Saka score.
since Harry Kane has come back, Spurs form has gone down.
Yeah,
There is nothing. I'm not saying anything with regards to that, but
that is true. That the
it's a
timing
interesting. Yeah, it's a true. It's a fact.
He hasn't scored yet, has he?
Yeah. Another thing, right? In the teams that I've highlighted, so I've highlighted Chelsea and Aston Villa. Chelsea because they. Here's the thing. I'm looking at Chelsea's midfield, and I'm thinking Chelsea's midfield at the moment is defensively sound, offensively not the best at the moment. I would say.
Yep.
So in terms of creating options for Lukaku, Reece James was that outlet. Now that he's also not there, I think Lukaku. Do you think Lukaku is going to get the service, or what's going to happen? Because we've seen at United when he doesn't get the service, he ends up going on the right wing and trying to create for others. And if you're paying 11.7 million or something, you probably want to see whether he's going to get the service or not.
Yeah. So
Also saying
is
that,
Mount injured?
yeah, apparently, or he's been out. He was out the last game.
So
I think he's injured.
the thing with this Chelsea team is that we haven't seen their backups. They have a second reserve of potential starting 11 Premier League. You're right in the sense that they've been using Kovacic, Kante, and Jorginho a lot more in midfield and relying on Alonso and Reece James coming up on the wings. But there is Havertz. There is Werner. Werner's been playing a lot more as well. And he's actually playing. I feel like adding Lukaku has benefited him a lot more as well. In the sense that he is a bit more freed up. He is looking a bit better than with the Werner I saw last season. That's mainly because the fact that he is not now deemed as a central striker, so it kind of responsibility away from him, I think. So no, I feel like Lukaku is Lukaku. I think he's still gonna score. He will find ways to scoring. He's a monster in the box. He's so strong. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think the loss of Mount is not as significant as it sounds, and Chelsea are in contention this season. I think they are definitely in contention for a top 3 finish easily. So
yeah. Just out of interest, what's the numbers? 2.65.
So Chelsea,
What does that
7
mean?
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've overperformed their XG.
They overperform the XG.
Yeah. So
okay.
they should have had about 4 goals by now, but they've kind of gone above that. They should have had like 4 to 5 goals, so they've gone like
They scored
they've
7,
overperformed it by
basically.
2. Yeah.
So they've been playing quite negatively. That's basically what he's saying, and they're not creating chances, but they will score.
That's one way. They've not been creating chances, but the other thing is, I think Lukaku has kind of been taking. I think Lukaku's last few goals have been kind of low XG. Not even Lukaku's, but even Chelsea's low XG, but going in the net somehow. And hence why kind of like the overperforming. Like if you look at Liverpool and City, right, they have high value of XG, but they're also negative, which means that's kind of a good position, I would say, to be in, because they are making a lot of chances, which is why the XG is so high. But it shows that they're not overperforming it as well. Like they're kind of within that number range.
Yeah.
that makes sense, right? Like
Is it for the last four games?
Yeah, last 4 games.
I mean, Man City's got Arsenal game. They scored 5.
Yeah,
So
that also has to be considered.
you take that one out. I mean,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I mean, Arsenal's
Yeah.
pretty bad. Then now we have our first 11 back. If we use this first 11 play against them, it would not be 5-0.
Yeah, that's what I think we have to take that as in consider for Chelsea, because Chelsea's last 4 fixtures have also been really tough.
Yeah.
the thing for me that's a bit like, okay, I know Spurs are dead last in this list right now, but we can't forget what happened last season with Son and Kane, right? They are one of the most dynamic duos in the Premier League together and continue to play every game. Everyone rushed to have the 2 of them in last season. We fit both of them in. We just can't simply forget that because they've got off to a bad start. Spurs' fixtures do get better in a couple of
Yes.
months. So that will be something to be on the lookout for, especially with this midfield problem of unable to find a solid midfield who's going to be there. You have to start, I'm thinking about that as well. I'm thinking about looking at, can I fit in Son if he suddenly goes crazy?
booms up. Yeah.
He
Fair
has
enough.
the potential.
Yeah, that's the thing. The other team I highlighted was Aston Villa because Watkins has recently been back, and even though Aston Villa still haven't kind of this thing, they've gone through that tough set of fixtures, and now the fixtures are kind of turning a bit more better. And maybe could be someone to look at, Watkins. He looked decent against the United game as well. And Aston Villa in general, I think they should have they deserve to kind of win that game because they've shown that they had potential, but with something to keep an eye on.
Problem with me is Watkins, if Ings didn't join, I'll be very optimistic about him. With the addition of Ings,
he's playing out wide.
just kind of, it's the same thing as Werner in a way that, that reliance on, you lose penalties firstly. Was he on penalties last season? He was on penalties last season. Right?
Yeah.
It was the Grealish.
Yeah, sometimes. It was not Grealish. It was this guy, El
Ghazi.
Ghazi.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
But Ings is taking over penalties now. And I'm actually probably more interested in the likes of Bailey and like Buendia and stuff in
in midfield.
providing a lot more value for their price point.
Yeah, Leon Bailey is a really good player.
Yeah, Bailey's like insane. Like he's insane. Glad he's got injured now. But what is Watkins' price point? Is he like 7 or something? Or it's got to be around that, right?
Watkins is 7.3.
Yeah, he hasn't really shown anything like crazy enough just yet for me to really say, okay, I need to have Watkins because I feel like there's much better attacking options available.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, when you think about the alternatives in strikers, everyone's going to pick either Lukaku or Ronaldo, right? Some people's got
And then
two
Antonio.
of them. Then you've got Antonio there who'll score.
Got Saint Maximin as well. He's in form.
Yeah, so you really don't have a place for him.
All right. So having said all of that, this is the season ticker. So we saw the first season ticker was the overall one. This is just purely attack. So I've sorted it by attack. And again, Chelsea, Wolves, Leeds, Tottenham. I don't really think so, but it's kind of very similar to the overall one, but a few slight differences. Crystal Palace also a bit more higher, but it's a bit more less red for some teams, I would say at least, because their attacks are pretty decent. But yeah, we will look into this. Is just anything standing out per se, or we look at the stats and then kind of
I
decide.
think Brentford is quite
Very
such a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, Arsenal's not here.
Arsenal just in the middle right there. Brentford, actually, to speak about Brentford, Ivan Toney could be a really good option very soon. Especially from game week 11, that Everton, Leeds, Burnley, Brentford. Sorry, what am I looking at? From game week 9. Leicester, Burnley, Norwich, Newcastle, Everton, Tottenham.
Yep.
Anyone wanting a cheap striker as your third striker, he's your man.
Yep.
And on penalties.
And they're playing well. They're playing really well. Really good football against top teams. They're drawing against top teams. So yeah, I think I feel like they're one of those teams who do really well. Like they strive to do well against the top teams, but kind of slack out against the weaker teams. Because which I think if they start, because when they're in the Premier League, you need to start dominating those weaker teams to get that goal advantage, which is what the top teams do. Like they win like 4-0, 5-0.
Thanks for regarding Arsenal as a big team.
Sorry.
Rephrase.
But no, what I'm trying to get at is like Brentford, they've been playing really good. Like you see them against top teams and you're like, wow, this is like a good football match to watch. Wow, this is a very competitive game. I want to be able to say that, okay, when Brentford plays a weak team, you're going to win like 3-0. That status, then I'll be like a bit more comfortable with attack. But yeah, I think they're going to be here for a while. I don't think they're going to this season, obviously.
Yeah, fair enough. I think they'll do well. So we'll see. All right, midfield players. Who are the performing midfielders? This is sorted by expected goal involvement. That's how I sorted it. Last 4 game weeks. Salah right on top there. Mane just below. Gallagher and Zaha. Crystal Palace. Where is Crystal Palace? Decent set of fixtures, I would say, for the next few game weeks. So Gallagher and Zaha right there. Too far. Jota, Fernandez, Ismail Sarr, Mbeumo, someone we haven't spoken about as well. Jack Grealish could be a decent City option. And also Rafinha, I've highlighted that. And here we go, Saka, we've been talking about. Just there as well, just entering that pitch. So midfielders, who do you have your eye on if you were to wildcard?
Well, you got to get Salah in, right? Everyone's got Salah in anyway. But I would not put any more Liverpool player in just to diversify the risk. Fernandes, do you reckon he's going to take penalties again?
Let's not talk about that game, please.
I mean,
To be honest, that was the fact that he was on penalties was a bit of a shock for me. I didn't expect it, but
I think
I mean,
they should listen to Martinez. They should listen to Martinez. And
yeah,
it was the right thing to do for Ronaldo to give it to Fernandes because he can't just come in and say, I'm taking the penalties now. He did the right thing. Then Fernandes, he didn't do his usual thing, which is quite
that's the thing.
interesting.
I think Martin has got in his head.
Usually he jump up doing this little jump thing and kick, right?
He doesn't always do that. There have been instances where he's just taken the normal run up to mix it up, but he's just skied it, which he doesn't do. So that is I would say Martin has got in his head probably.
For sure. He must be shouting, Ronaldo, you are the better player. You take it, mate. You take it.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if Ronaldo does end up taking some of the penalties, maybe not all of the penalties. Because I think I'm looking at it, I'm like, Ronaldo is a selfish player, but he's also a team player. And he probably might not, like, if Bruno has already been on penalties all this time, he won't have an issue with, like, Bruno maybe continuing to be on penalties. But at the same time, there's a possibility of them sharing it. Because when you saw the free kick, right? Bruno, I think, took the first free kick. Yeah. It kind of failed, and then Ronaldo took the next free kick. So it could happen where they kind of alternate as well. High possibility.
That's uncertainty, right? So, I mean, would you pick Fernandes? Maybe not with 11.9.
No, probably not.
Tag.
Yeah.
As you said, Grealish is good, but Kevin De Bruyne is back. So how is that going to impact him? We're not sure.
I saw the City highlights from their PSG game, and De Bruyne had a few chances as well. So yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean,
De Bruyne could become a real threat.
Gallagher is definitely good. I mean, he's so good the last few games.
Gallagher.
Yeah, he made a penalty as well.
Yeah, the one thing is...
Isn't he Milivojevic?
Yes, exactly. Milivojevic. When he came on the pitch, Milivojevic started taking the set pieces, you know.
Oh, right.
So, with him as well, like, so Gallagher, when he started off, Milivojevic was injured for the first few weeks. That's the risk. But I think Gallagher, you're right, he's playing like he's the top player. You know, he's getting a lot of chances. He's dribbling in. He's without fear. I still think if you had the money, if I personally would probably go towards Zaha, because he's on pens last week.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm surprised he took penalty.
Yeah, because that was not a thing last season. Because he was.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Yeah.
So that could make him a bit more appealing. And Zaha's always Zaha. You know, he's always.
Yeah.
He's always been in everyone's fantasy team in the past at some point during the season. And Crystal Palace are looking better. So yeah, I think either Gallagher or Zaha would be a very, very good shot in your wildcard team.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't forget Smith Rowe though. 5.3. Yeah. That is a really good price for someone who can score goals and assist.
Would you go? So you're going Smith Rowe over Saka, right?
Myself, Smith Rowe. I'll pick Smith because it's cheaper.
Okay, but if you were to say who do you think is the better long-term FPL in terms of points and everything?
That's a difficult question. I mean, probably Saka.
Okay.
I think
is it because more guaranteed?
Is like okay, so 5 midfielders.
Yeah.
If you want to get, if you have 3 if you have 4 good midfielders, as a 5th midfielder, I'll go for Smith Rowe.
100%. Yeah.
But if you have only 3 good midfielders and you want to get a 4th good midfielder, I go for Saka. That's how I would look.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
I agree.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense because you don't want to be ending up with like let's say you end up with like Gallagher and Smith Rowe. That probably you don't want to be that in that situation.
I think they're both really good options, regardless in terms of
Yeah.
price points. They're both really good currently with Arsenal's upcoming fixtures. But yeah, hopefully they do play. That's my other sort of fear with Arsenal is that, no offense, Roy, but they keep changing the team around too much. Pepe was on everyone's eyes last week and then he got dropped and people who had hopes for Pepe got disappointed. And yeah, I'm just not convinced with who are there. I know that they have a good bunch of players. They have a very good young bunch of team like players. Yeah.
Arsenal, Saka will play 100%.
Yeah, that's why that's why I think Saka is more appealing than Smith Rowe because of the fact that he has more guaranteed minutes on that right hand side compared to Smith Rowe, who could very well share the Smith Rowe has that he could share that role with Pepe, with even Martin Odegaard as well. So there's a lot more threat to Smith Rowe's position.
Yeah,
probably.
true. Arteta picked Smith Rowe over Pepe last game. That tells you who he prefer to play.
Yeah.
So I would definitely not pick Pepe. Smith Rowe any day for me.
Okay, fair enough.
But he does get injured every now and then.
Yeah,
so that's the issue.
Yeah. Fair enough. Rafinha,
He's injured, isn't it?
I think he's carrying an injury and he's managing. Bielsa is managing his minutes.
Yeah.
But the guy, even when he's on the pitch, could look like he's going to be able to get some returns.
Yeah, that's the thing with Rafinha is like, I think with the Leeds fixtures you have right now, if you have him, I wouldn't drop him, obviously. Wildcard is a very, very interesting question to ask. Like, I'm just thinking, would I really wildcard someone who's got an injury designation? It'll be a very, very tough choice, really. I probably would.
Because the fixtures are
Yeah,
good.
I'll probably take that risk of having him, and then if he doesn't play, your Smith Rowe or your Saka would play. Whoever your 5th midfielder is, if you your choice or your bench. But yeah, I still think the fixtures are too good to let go of him just yet.
Yeah.
Well, one person is not there. It's Traore.
Yeah.
Come on, he's got to score.
He's not getting on this list. He's not getting on this list anymore.
We benched him, Roy.
Yeah. We benched him. I saw him. I'm like, oop, get out. Nah. But yeah, I've never been convinced by Traore. And if you look at his his stats in general, like the number of goals he's ever got in his career is very low. So I didn't see the hype around Traore in terms of it, because he's never proven himself to be a goal scorer.
So I guess Ryan, last question to you is: would you drop Jota?
Me, yes. I am looking. So here's my team. I have Jota and Greenwood, and I think they're both going to get out. Now the thing is, I have made a transfer, and now I'm thinking whether I should take a -4 to get Diego Jota possibly out because he's playing City. And Firmino is back as well, which makes it even worse. And Jota looks like a price fall as well. So I'm like, can I get another player who will get me more points than Jota this week? And kind of like, is it worth that -4? Because I'm trying to delay my wildcard as well. So that's what I will probably drop Jota if I had him. Because I think you could bring in other options. Like we've spoken about Gallagher. Saka has also really interested me because Arsenal's fixtures are also getting really good. Rafinha, I think, is worth the risk for the fixtures that they have. Even if he plays for 60 minutes, there's a high possibility, like Rushan's he has him on the bench. He played for like 65 minutes, got a goal. And right now, he is their talisman, right? Rafinha is going to be Leeds' talisman with Bamford as out injured.
He's fast. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right. He's just lightning fast. The only problem with Rafinha is international break. He could go for Brazil and then have to come and quarantine, which means he could be missing for game week 8. So that's one issue. So maybe hold on Rafinha without bringing him in if you don't have him yet. I think, yeah. But I will probably drop Jota because you got City, Watford, and United in the next 3.
It's interesting.
Yeah, probably not the best fixtures. I think you can find someone else who will score more
The
during
thing
that
is,
time.
I know a lot of people are going to drop Jota. I know his price is probably going to fall. It hasn't stopped him from scoring goals in the past. That's my concern.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
has had
But when I bought him in, he hadn't scored except for the last game week.
true, but he probably when you drop him, he'll probably start scoring. Don't worry.
Yeah, he probably will.
Probably do a hat trick.
He probably will.
No, I think the thing is, I think that's very interesting. 'Cause I'm in a similar situation as well, and I'm thinking, do I take a -4 this week, or do I just hold him if I have, because I do have other players playing.
Yeah.
Do I hold him for a couple more weeks and then drop?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Because I'm in that boat where I have Jota and now I have Trent also with this injury doubt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who do I get rid of first? Do I get rid of Jota or do I get rid of Trent? Which is the more pressing. And also in regards to that, I'm like, if I do get rid of one of the two, who do I bring in who can get more points on a -4? That is the other. And I'm looking at Trent and I'm like, if I was to bring in a defender, it'll be probably a City defender and then they're playing what you call Liverpool. So it kind of defeats the purpose of getting rid of Trent. So yeah, we'll see. I still have to make that decision. I haven't made it. I'm going to be tinkering for a few days. I'm also waiting to see United's game and Chelsea's game to see what happens, how they perform, see if there's any injuries. Also, Greenwood is an issue for me, so we'll have to see that as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the midfield. Forward players, Cristiano Ronaldo right on top of that. And like everyone else apart from our panel team, Jamie Vardy, just below that. We're all going to ignore him. He's a 10.4. He's knocking along with those points.
Let's not talk about him.
Yeah. Antonio there. Chris Wood. Burnley are playing Norwich. Is it Norwich? Yes, Norwich. If anyone wants a 1 week punt, he's your man. Why did I double up on forwards? Okay. Chris Wood. Anyone wants? He's one. Gabriel Jesus. Aubameyang, as we mentioned as well. Raul Jimenez. Rushant has Jimenez in there. I think he's a decent captaincy option as well, if people want to this week. Watkins, Lukaku in that list. Timo Pukki, Saint Max. Roy has him. Decent set of players. Mope right below. Getting the goals for Brighton.
Yeah, I think this season is so interesting. Like attackers, there's no end, FPL only allows us to have 3 attackers, but if I had the option of having 5, I could fill my team with all attackers. I'm spoiled for choice, really.
Yeah.
But not good quality choice though. That's the only problem.
I mean,
Choice that is at awkward price points.
That's the
yeah,
thing.
true. Yeah, Antonio's still quite decent.
Yeah, I think Antonio is quite decent to have.
Yeah.
I think we told this like way before at the start of the podcast when we did it. We were like, if Antonio is fit, you have Antonio, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing. Because he's just too good to ignore.
He's pretty much undroppable at this point until it's interesting, right? Like this is the risk you can take as well. Like I was considering dropping Antonio mainly because of the fact that the fixtures do get a bit tricky, but I didn't question myself like that's dumb, Rushant, don't do that. Just stick there, let him get 2 points. Everyone in the world will get 2 points as well. Let's look at points elsewhere. Interestingly, the one thing who has been really proving a lot of people wrong is Saint Maxim, in the sense that been delivering every week and he's been in good form. If you look at his last games, he's delivered in every single game week. When does it stop? Are we banking for it to stop, or are we banking for it to go on? I don't know.
Well, looking at the fixtures, it's supposed to go on.
Yeah. That's going to be a big concern for me and people who don't have Saint Max. In saying that, the other side is okay. Obviously, when Wilson is back, his numbers you'd think will drop a little bit more, but he's been in good form. I feel like he's going to just keep scoring, and sooner or later we might have 2 strikers where we have to keep on as a template.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at that, right? His touches in the penalty area, 25, which is like the second highest in terms of numbers. Like, Vardy is the highest. He's on the same, like, touches in the penalty area with, like, Ronaldo as well and Antonio. So,
Yeah, my plan with him is keep him until I bring Ronaldo in.
Yeah, I think that's a decent
So I'm
because
not
Newcastle
changing
have
my
decent set of options.
strikers until that happens.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh yeah, if you have FA Maxim, there's no reason to drop him.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
yeah.
reason at all. Actually, he's probably the cheapest out of the high scoring strikers right now. So
Yep.
Cool. So if you were to wildcard, who would be your front three?
Well, I go first. Lukaku, and Maximin, Antonio.
yeah, I mean that looks that's probably the same thing I'll go with actually. If I was to wildcard, just good mix of, but like it's not overly expensive. You're not doubling up on the premiums, the threemiums as you call it, and it gives you money elsewhere. So yeah,
Yeah, I think for me it'll be Lukaku, Antonio, and to be honest, I'm also keeping my eye on Ivan Toney when the fixtures, because the fixtures are going to get really good very soon. It's just that patch with after Chelsea.
Yep.
And I'm not wildcarding immediately, so I think maybe Ivan Toney is also a good option, and he's a bit cheaper than Saint Max, so
Yeah, good point.
could be another
Good
one.
point. Yeah.
And has penalties, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
So that's the forward players. Now wildcard. Now I was looking at our dear old panel team. Let me actually change these things. Ta-da. There we go. All right. Oops, wrong one. Panel team. So we got 54 points. Green arrow for this panel team. Look at that Smith Rowe. What a legend. Coming off the bench, he came off, got us those 12 points. But our United players let us down with double zeros.
Did we have a green arrow season for this? We did have a green arrow, right? For the
Yeah, we did have a green arrow. We're at 2.5 million. Our team value is like 99.4. How did we lose 0.6 in team?
the whole Vardy in, like that was
Oh yeah, that was actually a good move.
Yeah. So.
It was a decent captaincy punt. I mean, like we looked at it and we're like, okay, he's probably going to be a good captain.
I'm glad we went.
Oh yeah. The week before we were with Roy and he was thinking about bringing Aubameyang.
Yeah. We had 3 United players last week, Roy, and we brought in Smith, right? Who delivered for us. So.
What did I say about Luke Shaw?
I knew this would come up. Yes, you were kind of right. Would you get rid of Luke Shaw if you had him now? There are rumors that he might play the Villarreal game.
Oh,
Would you keep him for one more game week?
I never had him in first place, so I would.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends who you have. Like if you've got the likes of, I mean, he's not in the top of the prior injury list.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Trent or Jota, and yeah, it's tough. If you're stuck in those 3, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, that was me, and unfortunately, that was me, and unfortunately, before I heard the Trent news, I got rid of Shaw.
Oh.
He's gone. But I bought in Rudiger, so yeah. All right, so I think this team needs a wildcard. It's turning disastrous.
Yep, let's do it.
And I think for the sake of the video, let's do a wildcard on this team because it's bad. So if you were to bring in a wildcard, right? Let's actually get rid of everything. We keep Foster because he's a 4 million goalkeeper who's right now playing. I'll get rid of Sufa, Simikas. We'll keep Duffy.
Yeah.
Get rid of Daz. Keep Salah. Get rid of Fernandes. Get rid of Bamford. Get rid of Dennis. Get rid of Vardy as well. Oh.
Yeah. And Grealish.
Oh yeah, Grealish as well. But Vardy has Crystal Palace. Oh well.
I'm actually like we'll think when we come back at this, but if you look at, I mean, this team is kind of a mix of differentials as well.
Yeah, that's what. Because we want to keep it slightly different.
Vardy because neither of us own.
No one owns Vardy, and this is the only team that's going to have Vardy.
I know Roy's not going to have it. Abin's not going to have it. You're not going to have it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have it.
No.
So just for the sake of differential, let's keep second highest scoring striker in FPL, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And I think third highest scoring or fourth highest scoring in points.
I guess we'll keep him just for that.
Yeah. I mean, he's got Crystal Palace, okay, United, but then Brentford. It's not a bad set of fixtures as well for Vardy. So, I mean, might as well just keep him. He's going to tick along with points. He will be good captaincy options as well for us.
Yes.
We'll keep Smith Rowe because
Catch up somehow for this team, so that's the only hope. Is captaining.
yeah. That's the truth. We need the differentials. All right. So now, if you were to wildcard, who would you bring in? Who would you bring in goalkeepers? We have a couple options: Rhea, Ramsdale, Josesa, Sanchez.
I mean, I've been looking at because you have the option of you have Foster as well, who probably can cover you for the next couple of game weeks, maybe. No. Really.
Nope.
Okay.
Does he play?
But he plays.
Rhea can probably take over from about week 9, and Rhea's not a bad option. And
He'll get you those points as well, like save points maybe.
yeah,
How much is he? Right.
He's 4.6.
Okay.
yeah, I'll be leaning towards Rhea. That's my personal choice, but I mean, we can always talk.
Yeah, I think it's either for me. It's either if you want a cheap goalkeeper, it's either Rhea or Ramsdale,
Yeah.
one of the two. I think Rhea maybe for the differential Brentford. And I mean, even if they lose, he'll probably come up with some save points. West Ham and Chelsea. Can we start Foster for this game? We can probably start against Leeds.
Yep.
We can start Foster. It's just that Liverpool and Chelsea, where we'll probably start Rhea and hope he gets some clean
that
sheet.
game and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford have done well against the top teams, so
True.
yeah.
My
Okay.
personal choice would be Ramsdale.
Ramsdale.
Because he's
Yeah,
got
this
a
is a good
number
point.
one nailed down now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to
Where
give
is
that away.
Ramsdale?
And
Yeah, I mean,
the
I'm
save
not
he's been
against,
making.
I'm not against
Yeah.
Ramsdale either. I'm okay with.
Yeah.
It's just deciding like how do we want to go? Do we want to go with the differential option? Because I know that a lot of people
Yeah,
like
maybe. True.
Ramsdale. Like, well, Ramsdale is going to be in a lot of teams in the wildcard.
Mm.
If you go to wildcard, I think people will bring in Ramsdale.
Yeah.
So it's more like, do we want to agree on a differential or are we
Yeah,
happy?
let's go Raya.
Okay. Because then we could look into an Arsenal defender.
Even Crystal Palace goalkeeper.
Guaita.
Yeah, I mean, he's decent. Crystal Palace,
Fixtures. Oh yeah, fixtures are not too bad.
Yeah. I mean, Crystal Palace.
Are
been
we
really
overlooking
well.
Guaita?
Yeah.
I didn't actually think about that because they haven't kept clean sheets per se.
Oh, they haven't.
Yeah. But the next two, I don't think they're going to be able to keep clean
Next
sheets.
3 are in the City game as well.
Yeah, even the City game.
Yeah, not good choice then.
I think Ramsdale or Rhea is probably a bit more of a better.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the goalkeepers. So, but even then, for anyone wildcarding, I think the players we mentioned, Ramsdale, Rhea, Sanchez, Josesa, and even maybe Guaita could be decent options as goalkeeper choices for your wildcard. But for the sake of this team, we're going kind of differential. Defenders. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Who do we want to bring in? Any Chelsea defenders?
I think we should have one Chelsea, one City, maybe Arsenal defender because we have a different goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
I'll get the Southampton guy, Livramento. He's good.
Okay, so let's get where's Southampton? So if we have Livramento because of the price,
Yep.
let's say we want that Arsenal defender. Do we want to give a go at Tomiyasu?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Tommy. Yeah.
And Rishant has been eyeing Tomiyasu as well. So
Yeah, but I mean, look, I think if we can afford more, I'd probably still prefer Tierney. If we can,
yeah, fair enough.
if you have the money, but we can come back and change it.
Yeah, we'll come back and look
Yeah,
into it.
Tommy is a good defender. He's a very, very good defender.
In terms of City, Cancelo or Diaz?
Flip a coin. Apple.
I don't have a coin. Someone get a
Well,
coin.
I go Cancelo.
Okay, so Cancelo?
You
Cancelo?
guys, we'll go straight.
I don't mind the Cancelo for the attacking fullback.
Let's go Cancelo.
And the Chelsea defender, Marcus Alonso.
Why not?
I'm going big at the back.
So we Liverpool defender, yeah, for the time being.
No, yeah, we don't have Liverpool. I mean, that goes with what we've been saying with regards to Trent being injured. If it was Liverpool, I would only want Trent and he's going to be out. So And we've kind of like gone with the fact that we could probably find another defender over that time period to get points. Midfield. So Salah is in there. Who would be your midfield options? Or do we want to go to striker first and then come back to this?
Good.
Yeah.
Because the midfield is where we're all like unsure who we want. How did we never have Antonio? I don't even know. Okay. So Saint Max or Tony as a cheap striker?
Yep.
Man, we had Tony. We should have just kept Tony. But anyways.
Oh yeah, we dropped him, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because he dropped in value by like 200k. So
Yeah. And the last time we had him on the bench with a 12-pointer.
No, I don't think I think a lot of people are bringing in Rondon as well, isn't he, from Everton?
But I'm not too convinced by Rondon because Rondon is like once Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are back is like
He's too old. But
Yeah.
what is his price point and his fixtures and stuff? Just
because like Townsend is probably a much better option than Rondon.
because it's not
6 million.
it's not worth it.
Even if you want, you can get Josh King, who is probably a better option at 5.5.
That's right. Sorry, just tossing up ideas. Are we looking to bringing a double expensive striker, or what's the plan? How do we want to? How much do we have, and how much?
We have 37.4.
A bit.
I mean, you could also this guy hasn't really hit the teams yet, but they do have a decent set of fixtures. Southampton coming up, so I'll be interested to see where I think we need more data with regards to like Adam Armstrong or any of the Southampton attackers, like James Ward-Prowse who's performed for Rushan in pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Armstrong. Probably not James Watt.
Yeah. So who do we bring in?
We're not picking the
Saint
big
Max,
two, are we?
Tony?
Lukaku, we're not picking
I mean, we
him, are
could. Do we want to get a big two? So do we want to put Lukaku or?
I think next 5 weeks Lukaku is looking good, but in saying that, that could be a differential in the sense that if Lukaku doesn't perform for whatever reason, you have the other option as well. So I would actually open to keeping Ronaldo for some reason, but we can come back to that. That's because I'm a United fan, but
he's $1 million more. That's the only problem.
True. Okay, how about we find a cheap striker first, and then come back to.
Okay, so if you want a cheap striker, I would say either Saint Max or Tony.
Yep, let's go next. Let's ride the Saint Max train.
Okay, we are on the Gucci bandwagon.
Yep.
Okay, and that leaves us with. Do we want to put in Lukaku for now, and see how we are for midfield in terms of budget?
Yeah, should we come back after midfield?
Come back. Okay, so let's go midfield.
Let's pick another cheap one first.
Gallagher
Yeah, I don't mind.
or Zaha or even Saka.
Double up.
Oh, you can't have two double Arsenal midfielders.
Oh, we have Smith Rowe, right? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't mind Gallagher, just so we can.
Decent set of fixtures.
Yep.
I would say. I mean, yeah, decent set of fixtures. Just the
I
City
feel like
game.
this team is
Arsenal, I
looking
think,
like
against-
my team.
It's fine. Roy is also differential on this podcast at this point.
Yeah, she's got a lot more Arsenal players than to my liking, which is.
Oh yeah, we're double up around Arsenal.
You want to get the Spurs play in, son?
Oh, Roy, you're just rubbing into their faces now.
I mean, it's not. Oh,
Probably not.
I mean,
Aston
it could be
Villa
an
is tough
extremely
game.
high differential.
Yeah.
Next 2 game weeks, though, Villa's. Yeah, you're right. It could be very high extreme, but honestly, you're right. I actually wouldn't mind having Son here. I think it will be that differential we need, and he's a good player. And Spurs, I just think they had a bad game last game against a good team.
I mean, his returns are not too bad.
Arsenal
Very
played
good team. A very good team.
well, but Sonson scored, right? So,
Yeah.
Well, they cheated. They well, that Shaka's injured, lying on the floor. They kept on playing. Come on, man.
So Heung-min Son, just to see how it goes.
Let's get early. Let's create that zero.
We are ahead of the bandwagon, people. Well, we're ahead.
If I was scared. Everyone's going to
Yeah,
get the price like 9.8. We get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, let's go to the striker, right? Because I think we'll come back to this. If we were to put in Lukaku here, right, it would give us no money.
Okay, so we can't pick Lukaku then.
Well, that's considering if we're happy to stick with Son, but if we
Yeah.
If we pick Aubameyang, what happens?
Liverpool, Arsenal. I think I'll be next week.
We'll have only 4.2 million. Oh no, actually, we'll have 5 million. I mean, that's not up. You can't find a
For
decent.
the sake of Abin and everyone else and the whole world crying, I'm saying no for 3 Arsenals.
A good point.
I can't sleep at night.
Yeah. That is a good point. I would not pick 3 players from one team.
What about Antonio?
Yeah.
It's more and more like my team, but.
Well, okay, I think because Antonio. Ryan, look at Antonio's pictures, right? Like, let's just forget about his form surf.
Okay, yeah, it's not good.
Okay, look at it right now. Let's look at his pictures right now. Forget about his form. Would this be a player you bring in right now?
No.
Exactly. Let's go that way. I just feel like.
So then, by that logic, I will bring in Lukaku.
That's true.
So let's just bring in Lukaku and hope he does something.
Very expensive.
Because his fixtures isn't too bad.
It's very good.
Okay. Which means we can't bring in Son.
He's a shit player.
Which means we need to figure out a midfield. So who would be your next midfielder? Rafinha for that risk?
Yeah, if he plays, it'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's still at that value. You won't be able to find a really good player. And then we have 6.7.
6.7.
I mean, this is a decent team. I wouldn't say it's not too bad.
What we could do is we could swap Gallagher for Zaha and then bring in someone like a $5 million. Fill in the
5.5.
Townsend.
Doucouré would have been really good. Townsend is still there.
Oh yeah. What about Gray? Gray's 5.7.
5.8.
5.8. Yeah.
Even Mbeumo is another option.
Oh yes, actually, I had him when I had him. Maybe I should have kept him, but where is he? Here is he. He's not too bad. I think he could be a good option with their fixtures getting. I think a lot of people will look to bring him in very soon.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good striker. He's playing a striker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good idea. If we don't have Tony, we have him. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Not too bad.
Really good.
Make sure you click play wildcard. So Sam texted me last week and a couple of days ago. He said he accidentally activated his free hit last week. And
I mean, but if I was to take 36 points, if I still play wildcard, it'll get cancelled off. So it's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Or he accidentally clicked free hit
last week. And he got like 40-something points. It's unfortunate.
Oh my god. So is this an acceptable team by everyone, or
should we call Abin as well for a third opinion? No, I'm joking. I think it's good. It's fine.
Abin is going to come next week, and it's going to be not next week, probably week after, because next week's like international break.
If he doesn't watch this podcast, he's going to say, "Why do we have so many Arsenal players?" I can tell you this right now.
We have 2 Arsenal players.
We're the informed team, right?
No, because Roy, you know what happened, right? At the beginning of the season, the first podcast, I said I had very, very high hopes for Arsenal. I said Smith would be the breakout player of the season.
Oh yeah,
Arsenal
he's got the number 10.
They'll come top 8 this time. You watch, and they prove me wrong. And Abin was laughing at me. But
to be honest, he also said Shaw wouldn't be that great, and he's been true.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to be fair, that could still happen. I mean, the first 3 games, Arsenal scored those injuries and COVID-19 cases and all the stuff going on. I mean, it shows you last game how well we can play.
Still not very convinced by Arteta, but yeah, I think you're right. Like, the players are finally coming together, which is start. So,
all right. So I guess this is the team.
Let's do it.
I guess
Lock it in.
Happy for that.
Play wildcard. You are now proposing. Yeah. Cool. Make transfers.
No.
Here goes anything. All right.
I mean, should anything happen, we can still change the team, can't we?
Yeah,
So,
we can. So who would we start? Alonso for sure.
Yeah.
Duffy instead of Smith. So Smith Rowe.
yeah.
I think we should probably put Rafinha in there for Mbeumo.
Yep.
And
Very much first up, maybe.
Mbeumo as first sub.
I mean, are we happy with City versus Liverpool? Cancelo, yeah.
Ooh.
Do you want
I
to go
mean-
Duffy versus Arsenal? Arsenal form is a bit dangerous now as well. So
Yeah.
This is a good
I mean, I'm
team.
happy with
Yeah.
Cancelo against Liverpool. Not too bad. I think even he could potentially get us in this thing. What do you call? Attack and return if needed. And Foster in goal for Leeds or Rhea for the save points.
oh,
God, that's a difficult choice. Isn't
I
it?
reckon we'll go. I don't know. Well, I think I'll let Real.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can put a vote. Yeah, okay, why not? Okay.
Okay, there you go. Don't double think. That's it. Who to be captain?
Vardy.
Has to be Vardy. Okay.
What?
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Lukaku. What? Vardy's playing.
Southampton have
Away.
been really good defensively.
You know what,
Oh.
Ryan? This is exactly what happened last week, right?
Yeah.
Captain, the most obvious choice in Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Got 2 points. I actually think this time around, Lukaku will be the most captain. He's not
Yeah.
going to deliver as much as we are hoping he's going to.
To be honest, here's the thing, right? I did the captaincy video yesterday, and I didn't recommend Lukaku or Ronaldo. You know who I recommended? I recommended Antonio. I recommended Jimenez, and then I recommended Gallagher and Zaha. Because I looked at the fixtures,
Yeah.
and Everton and Southampton have improved defensively.
Yeah, Southampton is really good defensively.
Yeah. Hence why I was like, okay, I don't think Lukaku is going to get the same amount of points people are expecting.
Yeah.
Because you look at Southampton, right? They kept a 1-1 against United, and they kept a 0-0 against City. And they should have probably won that City game as well.
Yeah.
I don't know that far, but yeah, I think towards the end they were
The penalty.
but they were struggling. They just wanted to have a draw. Like at the end,
Yeah.
you could see that they're just playing for a draw. Like they just did not want it. They don't want it. It's like, please, let's like.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't mind the differential in Vardy. He's been ticking along in terms of points.
5 goals. What's his stats? 5 goals, 1 assist so far.
He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals. Yeah, 5 goals, 1 assist, and 1 own goal as well. So you know,
I can't believe he's not in everyone's teams. It's insane.
he's in our team, in the panel team.
What's his ownership like? 1-2% something? 3%? It's very very small.
Is that
His
all?
ownership is 12.7.
It is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think that he is going to be a differential for. He's kind of going under the radar.
Yeah.
Leicester again, top team off the shit start. Yeah, I mean, I had Barnes and Madison, that whole midfield plan a long time ago. I was like, yeah, this isn't. I'm going to go with Barnes. Clearly, I was pretty wrong. And
Yeah, the same. I was like, Barnes, oh my god, I should have got rid of you earlier then.
What happened to
should have brought in
Nacho?
Ben Rama.
That guy's disappeared.
He's not getting starts. I don't
I don't
know.
understand.
Brendan Rodgers. Oh well.
everyone's head freaking Oleg on for losing.
Yeah.
And Leicester is just not playing their main players, and he gets
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh well. So we'll captain Vardy. We'll see how it goes. It's not too bad, and I think we'll vice captain Lukaku. So that's the team going ahead. Let's hope we get a decent green arrow and it boosts us in the ranks by quite a bit, hopefully. And then just to end things off, let's look at price changes just to have a look at the market and where it's kind of like going. So let me switch. There we go. So why is this? Okay, here we go. Oh no, there we go. So Wilson going down. Who is interesting? Shaw going down in price. Saka going up in price. potentially by tomorrow. Trent going down probably tomorrow.
Going down.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Mason Mount going down. Anyone else who's interested here?
The good thing about Trent going down is that you're not going to have a big price drop per se.
Yeah.
Right now, from 7.6 to 7.5, even if he was selling at 7, he'd still be 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salah could eventually go up. This guy, dude, Ba Midale,
Norwich.
3.9. People are trying to get him to 4 million
Yeah, but
and starting for
same
now.
Brandon Williams story. Brandon Williams is being transferred in every week. He's just not moving.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know.
Either.
But yeah, those are the price changes. I have to kind of have a look as well and see what I'm going to be doing with my Diego Jota. So we'll see. So that's basically it. We've done the team as well. So thank you to Roy. Thank you to Rushant for coming for, I think this has been a long podcast, almost an hour and a half. But yeah, pretty decent podcast. Lots discussed, lots about Arsenal as well. And their FPL options. We'll see whether it actually comes to fruition over the next few game weeks. But we won't be having a podcast next week because it's the international break. So we'll see you probably the week after. But I'll probably do a wildcard video next week for game week 8 during the international break. So thank you all. And thanks, Rush. Thanks, Roy. Hopefully we all have green arrows come end of game week 7. And Lukaku doesn't do too much damage because I don't have him. But yeah.
Let's go a hat trick.
See you
Let's go a hat trick.
Oh my God, no. All right, Southampton, please.